Story 1. When I first started out doing freelance work, I was doing makeup for a bride who was also a friend of mine. We got to chatting and I got a little distracted, and when I was done and I noticed something just wasn't quite right about her eyes. It wasn't until she was headed out the door that I realized I had put her lashes on backwards, so the longest lashes were on the inner corners of her eyes, making her look like she was in a constant state of mild confusion. Story 2. The last time I worked a paid wedding 10 years ago, I still give bridal makeup to close friends and family if I am attending the wedding. I was makeup to my friend Courtney's hair at a historic mansion venue. We were doing hair and makeup for a small bridal party in a luxurious suite filled with antique furniture and art. I finished before Courtney, and as she was touching up the bride's hair, one of the bridesmaids handed me a bottle of champagne and asked me to open it while she grabbed glasses. I was worried about damaging furniture or art and angled the bottle towards an empty corner wall. Just as the cork popped, it ricocheted off the wall and hit the 4-year-old flower girl right between the eyes. I was able to calm her, and nobody was mad, but I was mortified. In hindsight, that shit was fucking hilarious. Story 3. I was once doing a movie that was filming at a Southern California beach. I showed up for my 5:30 a.m. call. The actress came in and, to my absolute horror, had just had a full-face chemical peel. Her face looked like she had gone bobbing for french fries. I asked her what the hell she was thinking. She apologized profusely, saying she thought it would have been healed by then. She had done it 2 days previously. Every single foundation was literally sliding off her skin. Plus, we were going to be shooting outside at the beach all day. I ended up using Denier on her face as a base and carefully patching her face like you would drywall. It was a constant maintenance and a total nightmare. Story 4. I was doing the bride's makeup with her mom and dad in the kitchen with us. The mother of the bride was trying to tell me how to do my job when the father told her to stop telling the professional MUA how to do her job. She then got really ignorant with him and asked him if he had his morning poop yet. The bride was horrified and started yelling at her mom and started to cry. I whispered in her ear we were moving to her bedroom and her mom and dad were banned from coming in. Hilarious now, but I learned a good lesson. No parents allowed. Story 5. When I was about 16, I decided that for Halloween I was going to be a dead cheerleader. Mind you, this was circa 1992, so there was no internet. I wanted to make my throat look like it was slashed, so I used a combo of rubber cement for texture and red nail polish for blood. The texture actually looked pretty decent, but after a couple hours at school, my throat started to itch and burn, like hell. I was too cool to run to the bathroom or the nurse, so I just sucked it up. Guess who gave themselves a bitchin' chemical burn? And I had a nice scab and even a scar for about a year afterwards. Story 6. The first wedding I ever did was for my pastor's daughter, and I really wanted to do a good job and find out if it was the right path for me. I thoroughly prepared everything and was allowed to work in a local salon alongside the stylists. I had 9 people to do 9 on my first time. I had tried my heart out, but my shaking hands must have dropped brushes on the floor 8 billion times. I thought the owner was going to twitch out of skin. OMG. I cringed thinking about it. But everyone looked amazing. We made the country club on time and the ceremony started. Then the maid of honor locked her knees next to the altar and went down hard. Stop everything. Suddenly, the sunny day on the terrace churned. We had what the weather service called a microburst. Golf carts crashing and flying by, tables smashing and cartwheeling, and the massive transformer on the telephone pole blew up in an explosion of sparks. No power, no food, no light. I rushed to my bride. She somehow held together. We lit the entire venue by candle, pulled the photographer's car speakers into the hall, and it was the most intimate romantic ceremony ever. They are happily still married, and the pictures of me touching her up and reassuring of how amazing her memories would be are my favorite. Story 7. My worst was doing liquid liner on someone who was going to be performing. She had very little eyelashes, and I admit I had too much liquid liner in my brush. She was sitting there all calm and says her eyes kind of tickled. Out of nowhere, I see a black tear run down her cheek. She opens her eyes and everything is black. She screams, "I can't see, I'm blind." I just grabbed a tissue and said, "Blink it out, honey, blink it out." Story 8. I also once had a model sneeze in my face. Yeah, sneeze in my face. Thank God my mouth was closed. And she gave me this incredulous look and said, "Oops. Not sorry, not I apologize, not even a my bad. Nothing but oops." I was like, pay me, I'm leaving. Story 9. Once while on a film shoot in the middle of nowhere, population 2400 VA, I had a few gripes decide to move my work table, without asking me or taking the products off first. I look over, and in slow motion I see them tilt the table and all of my makeup fall to the wood floor and shatter. It was pretty much my entire kit. I lost all of my eyeshadow, blush, and powder, and the closest store that sold anything was like 3 hours away. So I had to dig out my personal makeup bag and try to do continuity out of that. Apparently the gripes said I looked like my face was going to explode, so neither of them could even approach me for days to apologize. Story 10. I once went in to do liner after already doing all of her face makeup without realizing I had black shadow on my hand. Black was smeared all down her face.